development of the application we are going to have. But here, what will happen with respect to the collection of services? With respect to the collection of services, which will simplify the development of the applications with high performance. Okay, it is going to have. So it is going to simplify the development of scalable and high performance web applications. Scalable in the sense means what? If in the future, when the technologies changes, obviously I have to change the contents in my application also. Okay, that is what the scalable is. So depending upon the requirement, so you have to increase it. That means if the technology advancement is there in the future, I have to increase with respect to the technological advancement. Okay, so that is what the scalable it has to give. So it has to provide you the scalable property also, and simultaneously it has to simplify the development of your web application also. So that is the job of your Google App Engine. So basically, Google App Engine, what it provides, it is going to provide you the secure execution environment. Okay. So now here, when it comes to Google App, what are the services that includes? So it includes the in-memory caching. Okay. So it can, and it is going to include the scalable data stores and job queues, messaging, and cron task. So these are the some of the services which it is going to provide. So this you people are going to learn more about in the coming chapters. Okay, so it is what do you mean by in-memory caching? What do you mean by scalable data store? What do you mean by job queues? Job queues, you will be knowing that it is similar to the operating system, right? So where there n number of jobs will be queued, depending upon the priority of that particular job, that will be assigned to the processor, and messaging and cron task. So these are nothing but your operating, the concept of the operating system. So now here in your Google App Engine, what it is going to provide is, so whatever the developer, if he wants to build the application, it wants to test the application. So developer can build and test application on their own machines using the App Engine software development kit. Okay. So here Google App Engine will provide you the environment, that is software development environment it is going to create. With the help of the software development environment, what the developer can build, the developer can build and test applications on their own machines. Okay, and this can be replicates the production runtime environment and helps test and profile applications. So that means what? So whatever the software development kit you are going to have, and whatever the development you are going to do for any application, and testing you are going to do for that particular application, it is going to replicate at the production runtime. It is going to be replicates at the production runtime, and it is going to help what? And it is going to help the test and profile applications. What is going to have? So next is Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft Azure is a cloud and operating system. Okay. So when you are going to have the system, if you want to build the application, what you require the hardware and you require the operating system. On top of your operating system, a particular software will be, a particular language software will be installed, or compiler will be installed. On top of the compiler, you are going to execute the application, right? So here you want, if you are using the cloud infrastructure as a service, on top of the infrastructure, I require some platform, right? So here the Microsoft will give you the operating system that you can make use of your Microsoft Azure as the operating system through cloud. You can access this one as through cloud. So your Microsoft Azure is a cloud operating system. Okay, and it is a platform oriented platform. It is going to provide you the platform as a service. Your Microsoft Azure is a platform as a service. Okay, so it is basically a platform which is used to develop the applications in the cloud. So as you know that platform, as there are three different types of basic service which the cloud is going to provide. That is your IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So your Microsoft Azure comes under PaaS. So PaaS stands for platform as a service. Now it is operating, your Microsoft Azure is a operating system, but it is a cloud-based operating system. For what purpose you are going to use it? You are going to use it for developing the applications in the cloud. So here also, if we talk about the cloud, all cloud is going to provide the scalable runtime environment only. Okay, all types of cloud which you are going to have, they are going to provide you the scalable runtime environment for web applications. Okay, so and distributed applications in general. Okay, so if we take the applications in Azure, they are organized in the form of roles. So what do you mean by role? So here how it is going to be done. So what are the different properties that particular application we are going to have. So it is going to identify a distribution unit for applications. Okay, so here the roles which are there in your Microsoft Azure applications in Azure, they are going to identify a distribution unit for application, and whatever the application's logic is there, that particular application logic will be embodied, inserted inside that particular distribution unit, so that n number of people can access that particular application. So your web role which is going to have, the web role which is going to have is designed to host the web application. The web role is going to be used to host the web application. Now here the web role is nothing but what? It's a generic container. So a generic container of applications, and it can be used to perform workload processing. So here the virtual machines which are there. So we'll discuss about the virtual machine in the next chapter. The virtual machine, what do you mean by virtual machine? So the virtual machine role, what it provides, the virtual machine is going to provide a virtual environment. So after providing the virtual environment in which the computing stack can be fully customized. So in which including the operating system. Okay. So next is Hadoop. So here Hadoop is mainly used, is a open source framework that is also platform dependent. So it is suited for processing large data sets. Okay. It is used to processing large data sets on commodity hardware. So that is what the Hadoop stands for. So why it is used? Hadoop is an implementation of MapReduce. So here in the MapReduce, what will happen? You are going to split the job into n number of tasks. Then n number of tasks, all these tasks will be mapped to a single individual processing individual processing or compute unit. Okay. After doing the computation by each, at the end, they are going to merge it. So you are going to map it and you are going to reduce the work. At the end, all the works will be combined together. Okay. So now it is nothing but your divide and conquer method. So you are going to use of, if we talk about your ADA, that is analysis and design of algorithm, there we are going to have the map and reduce technique, right? So it is your Hadoop. It is basically used to process the large data set. So then if you want to analyze the large data set, first I have to split the data set depending upon the category. So that means I will reduce the data and you are going to assign the individual data and you are going to analyze it. And after analyzing it, you are going to conclude it. So when you are going to have this type of this type of implementation, so Hadoop is implemented using the MapReduce. Okay. So what it means? So your Hadoop is an application programming. Okay, that will be developed by Google. So Hadoop is an application programming model that is developed by Google. What it provides? It provides two fundamental operations for data processing. One is map, other is reduce. Okay. So any doubt till now? Anybody having any doubt with respect to Amazon Web Services? Anybody has make use of EC2 or S3? Because maybe in your free time you have been gone through the n number of courses. Have you gone through these things in the courses which have been learned already? Everybody has learned? Yes or no? That's it. Yes means yes, no means no. Whether people have learned. Whether people are listening first. Hello? So now, if you talk about the Force.com and Salesforce.com, so your Force.com is nothing but what? It's a cloud computing platform for developing the enterprise applications. Your Force.com is a cloud computing platform for developing the social enterprise application. What this particular platform? So the platform is the basis for Salesforce.com. Force.com is the company, is a cloud computing platform, and it is developing the social enterprise applications. This is going to be used for developing the social enterprise applications. So this particular platform which is there, that is the basis for your Salesforce.com. Okay. So now here It is an example of your software as a service. So your force.com is going to provide you the software as a service. Okay, so that is one solution for customer relationship management. Now next comes force.com. What it allows? Here first.com, if you take, it allows developers to create applications by composing ready to use blocks. So next comes the question, what do you mean by ready to use block? So if you talk about the ready to use block, ready to use block means already it's available. So those blocks you are going to take it and you are going to build the application. And otherwise already some other person has been created that particular application. Only thing is whatever the application, it is already been created, and I have to take that particular application through internet and I have to use it. So a complete set of components supporting all the activities of enterprises are available there in that particular block. So next is Mantrasoft Aneka, Mantrasoft Aneka. So I need out all of you understanding what it means. People are listening or not? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next, when it comes to Mantrasoft Aneka, so here the Mantrasoft Aneka is nothing but what? It's a cloud application platform. So it's a basically cloud application platform. For what purpose it is going to be used? It is going to be used for creating of the scale-up application and their deployment on various type of clouds in a seamless and elastic manner. So it is nothing but it is mainly used to create a scalable application. So it is a platform as a service. Okay. So and they are going to deploy this particular application which have been created on various type of clouds. In what manner? Because if we talk about the cloud service provider, what he is going to do is going to provide the service for the users. Okay. So whenever he is going to provide the service for the user, what will happen? So he shall not stop, right? So because the word is round, so some or the other person will be using the cloud services from any of the service provider 24/7. That means your cloud should not go down. That cloud service provider servers should not go down. Now, when it is not going down, what will happen? Whenever there is a change in the application, for example, I want to upgrade my application so that I should not stop. At the same time, what will happen? Some other person may be using that particular application now. So if he is using that particular application also, what if I want to update the application, I have to stop the service which is providing already for that particular person. Then again, what I need to do, I need to update the application and I have to install that one in the cloud server cloud. Okay. So that means I have to deploy that one inside the cloud. Then after deploying it, that particular person has to access that particular application through the cloud and he had to use it. But it is what now that process becomes time consuming. So now, if I want to reduce the time consuming, what I should have, I have to do the deployments and I have to scale it depending upon the requirements. And whatever the changes I have done for my applications after deployment, even after deploying that one, the application should show updated application which has been done in the cloud has to be seen by the user without any intervention. That means the user is going to see that the application is updated. But for me, they have not stopped the service. Okay, so that's what it means. So after doing that one, what it is going to support? It supports collection of programming abstractions. Okay, programming abstractions will be there for developing applications. Okay, so it will be having the programming applications for developing the applications and a distributed runtime environment that can be deployed on heterogeneous hardware. Okay, that can be deployed on heterogeneous hardware. So now, what are the different abstractions the user can give or developer can give? Okay, so if you take the abstractions, so developer can choose different abstractions to design the application. What are the different abstractions? So the quality if they want to give the different quality for your application to provide the above services, what we have discussed, that is your seamless transfer you have to have, and if you are going to have the elasticity. So what are the different abstractions you should have? So first we should have the task, design the application. First we should not have the task, and the distributed thread should be there, and MapReduce should be there. So these things we are going to discuss in future, okay, in the next subsequent modules which we are going to teach. So now what are the different abstractions your Microsoft Aneka is going to give? The Microsoft Aneka is going to give the abstraction of task, distributed threads, and MapReduce. Okay. So now, whatever the application you have been built, so they are going to be executed on distributed service oriented. Okay. So they are going to be executed in distributed manner, runtime environment. Okay. That means it can be dynamically integrate additional resource on demand. So whatever the additional resource you are going to have, so that can be dynamically integrated. So that's what it means. So next, that completes your chapter 1. So in the chapter 1, we have discussed about what are the different, what is the cloud computing. So anybody has the answer? What do you mean by cloud computing? Definition? What is cloud computing? Can anyone tell? What's the definition? What you understood by cloud computing? Till now we have completed first chapter, the basics of your first chapter. So just I want to know how much you have understood, what I have been taught, so that whatever I am doing, you should deliver, you should go into your head, right? So what you have done. So what is the advantage of using the cloud? What's the purpose of using the cloud? Does someone answer for this one? What's the purpose? Can anyone tell? The class should be interactive, right? So if you are not answering any question, means there are two things. Only thing, one, you are not listening. Other, whatever the teacher is teaching, you are not going. It is not going to into your head. So which one I have to think? Whether whatever I am telling, whether it's going into your head or not. Just it's a small test. That's it. Nothing else. What are the deployment models we have discussed? Can anyone tell? What are the three different deployment models? What are the three different deployment models which we have discussed? Can I have one answer from at least out of these 35 to 40 students? Can I have at least one person to answer this question? What are the three deployment models? That is your property.
Infrastructure, platform, and software.
Deployment models I am asking. Deployment models are public, private, and hybrid. Services, if we take the cloud reference model, there are three different services it is going to provide. What are the three different services? If you take the cloud reference model or services provided by the cloud. So these are the important questions in your exam. What are the three different services provided by the cloud? What are the things you require to run an application? Assume that you want to build an application. What do you require to build an application? If you want to build an application, you require the computer, right? So now the computer is nothing but what? The infrastructure which you require to develop an application. That means your cloud is going to provide you the infrastructure as a service. Now, with only hardware, can you run the application? No. If I want to run the application, first I need hardware. Then on that hardware, I have to install the operating system. Now, what it does, someone will come you and they will going to ask you that in which platform you are going to work. What you are going to tell? How many of your which platform you are working in your home? What is a platform now means? If someone asks you which platform you are working, What you are going to tell? So that is nothing but on top of the hardware, what you are going to have? You are going to have the operating system, and the different applications are installed, like database will be there in the middleware. So I am so after this one, what are the different resources you require to develop an application should be installed on top of your infrastructure. So that will become the platform as a service. That is your operating system. It may be your operating system, or it may be your, or it may be your database. So those may be your platform. Now, on top of the platform, you are going to build the application and you are going to run the application. Okay. So now those applications which you are going to run on top of the platform, that particular service is called as software as a service. So now when you are going to have this type of service, that is either it may be infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service, how we are going to access these things? You're going to, the user is going to access with the help of the Web 2.0 interfaces. So when they are going to access these resources with Web 2.0 interface, with the help of the internet, they are going to use it. Okay. So then we discussed about characteristics and benefits of the cloud computing. What are the different challenges you are going to face, you are going to have, and the application deployment, building the application deployments, building the cloud computing environments. So there, when they are building the cloud computing environment, we are going to build the cloud computing environment with the help of the application development, as well as the infrastructure and system development. Okay. After that one, we discussed about computing platforms and technologies. So here in computing platforms and technologies, so we discussed about 6 different technologies. That is, one is your Amazon Web Services. What Amazon Web Services will provide you? What are the 2 different services we discussed? Anyone has answer? So these are important. So don't, if you are not listening, then it's of no use, right? Something you should understand. If you are delivering something means you should understand something. So if it's if you are not listening anything means, so it's a waste of time for me also, for you also. So it's going to, your Amazon Web Services is going to provide you the EC2 and S3 here mainly. That is Elastic Compute Cloud, and S3, that is Simple Storage Services. So next, apart from these services, your Amazon is going to provide you networking also. Okay, so it is going to provide networking support also, caching system also, domain name system also it is going to provide, and database also it is going to provide. So next we discussed about Google App Engine. So here we discussed about 6 different products. One is Amazon Web Services, Google App Engine, Microsoft Azure, Hadoop, Force.com and Salesforce.com, and Microsoft Aneka. Okay, these are the 6 different technologies and platforms which we have discussed. So just keep in your mind all these things. Okay. So whenever someone asks that, you should tell. So if you are not telling anything means what? They will not scold you people. It will scold me, what the teacher has done to you people. Your teacher is not right. They are going to speak like that. So whatever we are going to deliver to you, you should understand those things and you should incorporate that one in your habits. Because now the competition is more. You have to read and you have to deliver it. Okay. So since the competition is more, so obviously you have to update the knowledge every day. Since the technology is changing every day, you have to change. You have to make a change in yourself daily. So daily routine changes should be there within yourself. So what is the updation in the technological world that you should have? Okay. So I need, but I am getting out from the first chapter. So that completes first chapter. So next is your virtualization. So this is an important concept in your module 1, or if you take the cloud computing only, so the cloud computing totally relies on virtualization only. So whatever we have talked now is only a basics. So now it comes the exact technology which is used. So this is virtualization or virtualization technology is nothing but what? It's a fundamental component of cloud computing. Okay. So especially where it is going to be used, especially it is going to be used in infrastructure-based services. Virtualization is going to be used in infrastructure-based services. Now, what it use? Where it is going to be deployed? Okay. So what it is going to use? So it allows the creation of the source. So virtualization, what it allows the creation of secure, customizable, and isolated execution environment, and for running applications, even if they are untrusted, without affecting any other user's application. So that means what? When you do the virtualization with respect to the infrastructure, what it allows? It allows the creation of a secure customizable. Customizable means what? If I want more processing speed, I can have the more processing speed. If I want to reduce the speed, I can reduce the speed depending upon the requirement of the user. I can customize it, because one person may require some application which require only which require only small processing speed. Other person may require high processing speed. So at that time, what will happen when you are virtualized and creating a secure and customizable? Customizable means what? Depending upon the requirement of the user, is they are going to tune the services, and they are going to create the isolated secure execution environment. That means isolated means what? Separate. That means when I have told that cloud computing means what? Pay as per usage. That means whatever you are going to use it, you are going to pay for it on redundant basis. There may be n number of people who are using it. So what it allows? It allows the creation of a secure, customizable, and isolated execution environment. Okay, for running the applications. So even if they are interested, what will happen? Even if they are interested, they are not going to affect any other user application. So that means what? When the other person is using the same resources virtually, the other person's application should not be affected by yours. That means the same hardware will be used by 2 or 3 people, but they are isolated with each other. So that means the seamlessly, that is the hardware resources which you are using, the same hardware resources may be using by other person, but the 2 people will be not knowing that you are using the same processing speed, same compute, or same processor you are going to use, or same PCP you are using to execute the applications. Okay. So next is, on what basis the technology is done. So the basis of the technology is the ability of the computer program. Okay, the ability of a computer program or a combination of software and hardware. So it is nothing but this particular technology works for what? So it's nothing but complete combination of software and hardware. By doing the combining the software and hardware, how it is going to do? So it emulates an executing environment. So it emulates the executing environment separate from the one that was such program. It is going to emulate the environment separate from the one that was the set programs. Okay. So that's what it means. So why it has gained so much? So virtualization technologies, why it has become so powerful? What has made this particular technology to be powerful? So if I'm not going to use of virtualization, so what are the different phenomenon which will be used? Why it is gained popularity? So why this particular virtual technology have gained interest recently due to confluence of several phenomena. So several advancement made this particular technology to be rapidly used by many people. The first is increased performance and computing capacity. Now, what will happen as the technology is changing? So, more and more processing speed processors are coming into the market. So now, once you have the all the and almost now 1 terabyte GB is there. So almost on PC, when you are working in your home, you are going to have the high processing speed. Now, whether you are using that particular high processing speed at all the time, no. So now, whatever the end user is whatever the end user or whatever the user you are using that particular system, so it is every day, for every day he is going to be using, and whether all the resources all the time you are using, no, that means you are not using all the resources of a PC at all the time. So and then if you have the space, for example, I have 1 terabyte of space, so 1 terabyte hard disk is there. Now as a user, say what I will do, whether you are going to consume all the space, no. So sometimes you are going to end up with around 200 GB or 300 GB. Now I have 200 to 300 GB of space, but what about the rest 500 GB, 700 GB? So that I am talking not with respect to the home, but in home, what will happen? The system which you are going to have, so you are going to store some videos, movies, everything. But it is not the case in your organization pieces. In organization pieces, what they will be what they will be done. So they will be having only what? They will be having only processor and some applications or operating system they have installed. And what are the requirements for that particular PC to be handled? Only those softwares they would have installed. So now at that time, what will happen? So it may consume around 20 to 30 GB of space. But my PC is having how many of space? 1 terabyte. Now the remaining 900 GB has gone waste. So how I have to use that one? That is the next thing. So for that one, what they are going to do? So this most for these PCs, what they have resources, they are enough to virtual manager. They are enough they are enough resources enough to host a virtual machine manager and execute a virtual machine with by far acceptable performance. That is what it means. The second is underutilized hardware and software resources, what I told now. So hardware and software virtualization, hardware and software underutilization is occurring due to increased performance and computing capacity. The effect of limited or sporadic effect of users, as I told now. Okay, you have the end system, but you are not using it all day. So sometimes some computers, if you are in an organization, for example, you will work for 9 hours. So now that system will be not used for another 16 hours, 15, another 15 hours. So now what I have to do with that particular 15, what I have to do with that particular system for another 15 hours. So I can use that one. I can use that one, and I can create the virtual system of that one, and I can rent that particular system to another place. So if you have the desktop systems, what will happen? So if I have the desktop systems, so that has to be maintained by some people. Okay, so if I take the desktop pieces, it is requires the administrator for upfront automation, and they should have some security people should be there to look after that one. So that particular care we should take for that particular system. Then it's a lack of space. So now when it comes to the lack of space, so the continuous need for additional capacity. So whether if it's storage or compute power, so makes that data center grow quickly. Okay. So what will happen if they are increasing the data center? So what will happen? The more and more data center, more and more space will be occupied by the infrastructure to maintain that particular data center. That is nothing but what? It's a layman's definition you are going to tell. So as and when the people are using the data, so the data has to be stored in some place. When you are storing the data means what? You require some space should be there. If I want space should be there, what should be there? Your hard disk should be there. So if a hard disk should be there, almost space should be there for that one. So that means physical space should be there. It is not space inside the hard disk. It should be physical space where you are going to keep that particular hard disk. So now that will consume the space. Okay. So now when it consumes the space, what will happen to the data center? The data centers will grow large. So it will make the data centers to go large. So if you take the companies like Google and Microsoft, so they are expanding their infrastructure by building the data centers. So normally, whatever the data centers you are going to have, the data centers, as we have seen, some of the data centers are there in the as big as our college, like that. So they are going to have like that in the future. So next in the greening initiatives. So in the greening initiative is nothing but what? When your PC or storage are working, what it will be released? It will release the heat. So the whatever the heat is going to be released, it is in the it is going to consume and to reduce, and it is going to release the carbon. So now that is one of the problem which you are going to face in the future. That is the pollution. So it has to, when you are increasing the data center in turn will in turn consume the power, which in turn it will, if it is consuming the power, obviously it will dissipate the energy. So whatever the energy it is going to dissipate, that energy will be in the form of carbon. So data centers will become what? One of the major power consumer. It will become the one of the major power consumers. Now, how I have to do that one? I have to reduce the number of servers. So that if I want to reduce the power, I have to reduce the number of servers. How I will going to reduce the number of servers? I am going to reduce the number of servers by doing the server consolidation. So when you are doing the server consolidation, so definitely it is going to impact the cooling and power consumption of a data center. So when you are going to have this type of scenario, virtual technologies will provide an efficient way of consolidating servers. So virtualization is a technology which will provide you consolidating, which will help in efficient way of consolidating the server. So the fifth reason is why we have to go for virtualization is for rise of administrative cost. So that means whenever you are going to start a new company, what do you require? I require space. I have to give rent for that one. Or if I want to purchase one, I have to invest on that one. Or and then after investing, it's over. No, I have to buy a new PC. So now after buying the new PC, I have to install the operating system on that one. If I want to install the Microsoft operating system, then again I have to pay the royalty income for the Microsoft. So depending upon, I have to purchase the license, and I have to pay for the license also. Then if I want to have the install the on top of your licensed version of the software, then I have to pay for that one also. That is one of the administrative costs. Then when you are going to have more number of pieces are there inside the organization, obviously consumption of power also becomes more. So then the cooling will be a main issue for that one. So to reduce all these things, what I need to have, so the cost will be increased. So when the cost is increasing, so obviously the company has to incur more amount on that one. So these administrative costs will also become more. So if you have the physical hardware,